Hey witches, this is Hekterios, and this is going to be the Hecatean Oracle Guidance, the Astrology, and the Tarot Divination for the Winter Solstice, which is December 21st, 2016. Okay, so let me just tell y'all what I'm getting energetically speaking. There is a major energy coming in with this. I feel that there's a lot of new growth, and this is all interconnected with the past readings I've done for the previous full moon and the previous dark moon readings. This Winter Solstice Sabbath is just another outpouring of growth in all aspects and areas of your life. So on the last dark moon reading, I told y'all that that was going to be the rebirth aspect of this new energy in every area of your life. Then on the full moon, I said that that was like the seed sprouting, the first growth. Now with this Winter Solstice Sabbath, we're going to start seeing much more growth. And once again, that this energetically is covering every aspect and area of life. I mean, this is a really great energy, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that's just the energy that I'm getting and picking up on. As far as with Goddess Hekate, this is a return to magical empowerment. If you have been feeling at odds with your witchy persona, with your magical empowered self, and I'm not just talking about regular self-empowerment and confidence, I'm talking about truly your magical nature, and your spiritual nature in the aspect of magic and applied spirituality. If you've been feeling at odds with that or out of touch with that, this Winter Solstice is really going to bring a renewal to that area and aspect pretty strongly. So I'm really looking forward to that. Both of course for myself and for all of you. I know that this year has been crazy, and it almost seems like for many people it's like this past year almost in our personal lives mirrored Goddess Hecate's own descent, being vibrationally lowered through her own 7 chakras to a place of just survival mode mindset. And I feel like people have, witches have mirrored that this year. Things have brought us down to that low vibration of just trying to survive and get by. And we really have seen a rebirth out of that with the past dark moon and full moon, and now we're really going to see with this Winter Solstice Sabbath a rebirth of the magical nature. So this is us getting our chakras back, re-empowered and revitalized. This is us expanding beyond just regular survival and just trying to get by. Like, now we are ready to move on and move up into more of a focus in just every other area of our life, growing and expanding and being empowered. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all the astrology for the solstice. So the sun is in Sagittarius, and so is Pluto, and also Mercury. And Mercury has gone retrograde as of December 20th through January 28th of 2017. So Mercury will be retrograde during this time. This video is not about Mercury retrograde, so, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what that is. But to summarize, Mercury retrograde causes delays and issues in the areas of travel, communication, business, sometimes finances, in that aspect, and technology. So that's kind of the negative aspect of Mercury retrograde. But on the positive side, when Mercury retrogrades, you're going to see it move backwards through the constellation Sagittarius. I think its short journey retrograding actually brings it right around over here where the sun is right now on the 21st. And then it will start to go forward again. But Sagittarius is really the sign of I almost just want to say it's the sign of expansion and growth. And since the sun is here, that's probably why the energy is going to be mostly focused on expansion and growth. Sagittarius is about experimenting with the new things in that aspect of expansion and growth. It's about ingenuity. It's about creativity. Harnessing things to work unto your will, but in a creative way. Pluto is present as well, so that's going to bring a very severe type of energy with this. Pluto is the Lord of life and death, but also the Lord of wealth. So there's this severity with this energy. But, you know, depending on how you use that and utilize it, it can be a good thing as well, okay? Now, where's the moon on the winter solstice is over here in Virgo, and it is with Jupiter, okay? So Virgo is the sign of, to summarize it into like a couple or a few words, what really comes to mind is practicality, an analytical mindset, but in the sense of practicality, how can things be applied for practical results, type of thing. And with Jupiter there, I love that actually, because Jupiter is an amazing energy of expansion and growth as well. So, as always, the astrology is matching up with what Hekate told me and guided me about this winter solstice, because the sun is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a constellation sign of expansion and growth. The moon is over here with Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth. And the moon is your emotional self, your spiritual self, your inner being, your soul. So that's growing, okay, and expanding. Like I was saying a little bit ago, it's like your chakras are being revitalized. Your soul, your chakras are the centers that make up your aura, which is your soul. And in the sign of Virgo, what that tells me is that this is going to be in a very practical way. So, you know, that's really good then, because not only is your spirit expanding and growing, but it's doing so in a way that you're going to be able to use that to help your life, almost in a step-by-step way. So that's good. And let me see if there's anything else that's coming to me. I think that we're going to see finances getting better as well on a mundane aspect to this, because of the fact that Jupiter's present there as well. So I guess that's going to be it for the astrology part. And I'm going to move on to the tarot divination reading. I'm going to do that different than I have in the past videos. Rather than showing y'all the cards like from this perspective, I'm going to record that part on my laptop. So you'll see me and I'll just hold up the cards like I do in my weekly and weekend readings. But okay. I'll see you in a second on that. Okay, y'all. So we're going to move on to the tarot reading now. Now I align myself with the Most High God and the Holy Spirit, Hekate. Please communicate the truth to me through these cards, so that I may be guided for the highest good of all. Thank you, and so mote it be. Please give us your divine guidance for this winter solstice. Let us know about the energies so that we may use this knowledge for our highest good, greatest success, and joy. Thank you, and so mote it be. Okay, guys. The first card that we have is the Knight of Swords, representing as us. And this card has the energy of it matches perfectly with the astrology part, because this is a card of ingenuity and using the resources around you to create whatever it is that you need or want. It's kind of the card of like your inner genius. And it also talks about making swift progress towards your goals. And it's almost a feeling of gusting wind, because it's just so fast and strong, though. It's not like a fleeting experience. It's like a strong, steady wind that's blowing, okay? And there is a lot of progress made with this energy. So that is really good. The next card. The Two of Swords. So this is the card that represents the present. The position of this card represents the present atmosphere. Okay, what's around us. And it's the Two of Swords, and so that tells me that there's going to be a sense of healing. I want to say healing in your relationships. My hair. But I think it's going to mean healing in that aspect, because this is a card of like compromise, making deals, renewing partnerships, and not really from a place of emotion. It's more from a place of mentally, like logic and reason based. So what that tells me is that maybe some kind of emotional based problems in relationships will be overcome with this new energy. Maybe we're going to start approaching it differently, more from a place centered in logic than emotion. Making deals, making compromises. Maybe other people will become more compromising and logic based. If you've already been the one that's like that, and other people have been emotional. Either way, there is some kind of energy of truth and peace that's going to be established. So that's really good as well. The next card in the crossing position, which represents what could be a possible problem or issue, is the Lover's card. And so there's an energy of what's really attracting you right now. What is your will? What is your goal? What is your agenda? Or do you know what it is truly? Can you answer that question truthfully, just to your own self? Do you know what it is that is attracting you? Do you know what you're really attracted to versus what you're not? Okay? Because if you're unsure, if you're confused about that type of thing within yourself, you're going to have trouble manifesting different things. I once did just as an example with what I'm trying to say here, I once did a tarot reading for somebody. They were asking about a love situation. And the tarot cards revealed that that person truly didn't want a love relationship. They didn't want that kind of a commitment. They were more devoted to their work, financial situation, and career and business. That was truly what their passion was at that time of their life. Not being in a relationship or something like that. That also requires devotion, commitment, and time and energy. So that's the type of thing I'm talking about with this. You know, what do you really want? And make sure that you're not in conflict with your true will. Make sure that you're not mistaking base desires or your whims. You're changing whims for your true will. Okay? Because that can become a problem with this energy if you're not focused. Okay? I kind of see that this is a repeating theme in all of my new moon and full moon, rather I should say my dark moon, full moon, and Sabbath readings. They always repeat this theme of where are you putting your focus, which makes perfect sense because on the Sabbath, these are the tides of energy, of the solar energy, and on the S-bats, which is the dark moons and full moons, these are the tides of lunar energy. And you really do need to make sure that you're mastering and being disciplined on your focus, because everything manifests more powerfully during these times. That's why we hold rituals during these times. Y'all, my hair is making me laugh the way it's sticking out on the sides. What the hell? Okay, though. So just be aware of that, basically. Okay? You need to make sure that you're focusing on the right things. So just try to really get in aligned with your true will. Alright? And use that energy. So the next card is the Five of Coins. And this is in the position of just kind of advice of what you're going to need to focus on going forward. And it's the Five of Coins. So this card has an energy of you can't make this up, y'all. This card has the energy of making sure you control where you put your focus, okay? Make sure that you're not focusing in on the wrong things, because it will have drastic consequences. Don't think from a place of poverty. Don't think from a place of lack, destitution. Don't think from a place of hardship, or that you never get what you want. Things like that. Negative thinking in general. Do not think like that during this time. Put all of your mental efforts and emotional vibrations in alignment with what you actually do want to manifest. In the past position is the High Priest. So we're coming, the past position represents obviously the past and kind of an energy that we're coming out of. And it's the High Priest. So this is telling me that we're coming out of an energy of the status quo. So we're breaking free of the boxes that people try to put us in, or even that we have put ourselves in. Maybe some of the goals that you thought were part of your true will, as you analyze it, maybe you were actually putting yourself in a box, your own self, and maybe you were trying to go forward with things that aren't actually your true will. And maybe that's why you were seeing problems and issues in that area of the manifesting or not, because they were counter to your actual true will. And this is also a card of discipline. So then that's telling me that, a lot of us have been learning and developing inwardly to come more into conjunction and alignment with our true will. So that's good. In the crowning position, which once again this card and this position represents advice and guidance, more so from your higher self or your spirit guides or whatever, depending. So when I do these readings, this is representing guidance from Hekate. And it is the Ten of Cups. So what this card's telling us is that we need to put our focus into attainment at the spiritual level. Don't be so worried about fulfillment, success, and satisfaction at the physical level or with worldly goals. Put your focus and energy into attainment at the spiritual level and contentment. If you can make yourself content and like you feel achieved in the spiritual realms within yourself, that will have an effect in your outer world. It will have a trickling effect in your outer world, and you will see the results in the outer world as far as your true worldly goals will just come in as well. It all starts from within. So seek your spiritual enlightenment this winter solstice. Seek for your... I'm doing a reading. I'm sorry, y'all. So anyways, just seek for that inner contentment and peace and sense of success and attainment in the spiritual sense, and you will see that trickle into your outer life and circumstances as well. In the future position is the Queen of Coins. And the future position shows what can come into your life if you take the advice of the reading. specifically, okay? And the Queen of Coins is a card of good fortune and monetary gain, physical, material world gain, success in riches, finances, but also just abundance, health, and good relationships. All of that is represented by this card. And so, just like I was saying, you know, align with your spiritual, get yourself feeling empowered, successful, and achieved in that regard within yourself. And obviously, what I was saying matches up with the future card. You will see results in the physical world. Okay? And that's just how it works. The next card, it is representing of advice. And this is more personal advice for how to present yourself, your persona, how to align your ego with your spirit, with your inner self. And it's the Emperor, okay? And so this card's energy is basically about mastery, command, self-mastery, self-command, self-discipline. When we come from a place of that, it reflects our inner authority. And that has an influence on how other people treat us, how they see us, how they interact with us. And since this card's coming up, I want to associate it with what we had in the present position, the Two of Swords, when it was talking about your relationships, coming to compromise in truth. It could be that you've been having problems with certain relationships. Some of those could be self-created. Maybe you have not been acting from a place of self-mastery and inner authority. And maybe in some way that has allowed people to walk over your will. Things like that. So make sure that you start to align with your inner authority. And maybe you've been out of alignment with that because you've been unsure. But now you're becoming more sure, you're becoming more grounded. You're becoming more aware of what your true will is so that you can align with it and have that inner solid knowing and foundation. The inner knowing to act upon and the inner foundation to build upon. And so stand in that authority without being without being a tyrant, basically. Embody that energy though, in a positive, constructive way. Okay, the next card. The Two of Coins. This is in a position of outer influences, so this is how others are perceiving you. The Two of Coins is about balance and working to achieve balance in your life. So there might be some kind of a situation, there might be some kind of a situation that you're facing or that you've been facing ongoing where you're trying to reattain balance. Maybe it's between work and home life. Maybe it's between home life and spirituality and your inner self. Maybe it's between relationships and your inner self. Only you know where this energy is actually manifesting in your life, unless I do a specific personal reading for you. But since this is general for everyone watching, you're going to have to apply it yourself to your life. But in some way, other people are noticing that you're trying to reattain balance. Okay. So this card's probably showing up because it's letting you know, don't be hard on yourself. Other people know that you're trying. Don't be too critical and hard on yourself. Okay. No one else is. They can see that you're trying. The next card is in the position of hopes and fears or goals. It's the Queen of Cups. And this card has an energy of relating to others on an emotional level, on an empathic level. So, in this position, I think it's representing I'm getting that this represents a fear for some people who are watching this. Maybe some of y'all are concerned about strong empathic and emotional connections to others. And if that's a fear, you need to work on that. There's a lot that you can do to work on that if that is the case. For others, if this is a hope or a desire, this is coming up to show you that there will be opportunities to do so. And for others, this is just saying, let this be one of your goals, to connect with others more deeply in an emotional way, and in an empathic way. Oh, that's hard to say. So maybe with these other cards of the Two of Swords and the Emperor, and then with this one, there's a chance for relationships to be healed and brought to a more healthy interaction and exchange. If we use the energy of this winter solstice. The final card is the Two of Wands, and the final card represents what's most likely to happen if you follow the advice of the reading as well. Kind of somewhat like the future card, but this isn't just showing the future, it's showing like the overall outcome of the energies. And the Two of Wands is the card of new beginnings. You're going to come to a point where you see a new path forward. You finally begin to see a bridge being built that can move you forward. So with a lot of us, we've been going through these energies of drastic changes within ourselves. It's almost like the entire year 2016 has metaphorically been like the Tower card of the tarot, where things have been broken down so that they can be rebuilt from a stronger foundation. And that's internally. I feel that this year has been very much a breakdown of who we thought we were, and a transformation in that sense. We have been changing into a new version of ourselves that is most likely aligned more fully with our true will, with our true self. Less to do with ego and more to do with soul, okay? So, because of that transitional phase, transitional state, there hasn't really been a sense of what we want for the future, what our goal is, in a focused and determined way. But it looks like with the most recent energies bringing us into more full alignment with our true will, laying those first blocks, building up the new tower, we're going to start to see a more clear picture of where we're going and what we want. So this card also involves planning, setting new goals, gaining more insight on that. Preparing. And really, I think for some of us it could also mean coming together with others on certain things and certain plans. Or, you know, if not merging, your goals with others, then maybe talking it over with others, like, talk with your best friend, run your plans by them, and see, if they have any input, or just for the sake of, for your own self, talking about your plans with someone else can give you better clarity and a better grasp on it. So, this tarot reading absolutely reflects the astrology and what Hekate told me. This is a great expansion on the new energies that we have been slowly embodying, if that's a word. We've been slowly rebuilding our inner self, on our inner level. And we've seen those energies taking root within, beginning to sprout within. And now this is the first outer world reflection of that coming in with this winter solstice. So, I hope that this has been a helpful reading for y'all. I hope that you apply its knowledge, as always. Apply its guidance. I know I will be. And I hope that you really use the energy in a focused and determined way. You might want to do rituals focused around the guidance of this reading and how that applies to your personal life. And just make use of the tides of power that the winter solstice brings in general. The winter solstice is like the dark moon phase of the solar cycle, because the moon cycles through the different phases every single month, lunar month, and the sun cycles through its phases, which is what the 8 Sabbats are marking the different transitions and tides of each solar year. So the winter solstice is the dark rebirth aspect of the solar cycle, and the sun represents your ego identity, your persona, how you relate to the world and others. So that is being reborn. And re-empowered, reinvigorated as well. A lot of witches consider the witches' New Year as Samhain, Halloween. I have always thought of the winter solstice in that regard. It just makes more sense to me energetically. And so in that regard, New Year's being January 1st is actually more closely aligned to the solar rebirth as well anyways. So try to use the energy as the cards have guided us to, And really, I think that we will see amazing results if we do so. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you have an amazing winter solstice and Yule and Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Okay? Hail to the witches and blessed be.